Now You See Me is the only movie whose title tells the viewer what's happening right now. This statement is correct so long as you look at the screen. Simple and factual, this beautiful name appears in a font not dissimilar to the Now That's What I Call Music CDs. These movies follow the Four Horsemen, a group of 4 to 8 stage magicians who use tricks to steal. People have persuasively argued that these are real wizards, but I think you could also reasonably conclude that these movies take place in like a bizarro sci-fi world. It's a world where you can do real-life Harry Potter graphics, you can put a man to sleep with a look, and magicians are stupid hot. In this world, the 4 most romantic words in English are, "Is this your card?" In this world, a man named Thaddeus Bradley made millions selling DVDs debunking magicians. Which is confusing because I don't think magicians are ever bunked. I mean, the Four Horsemen begin their show by saying it's all targeted deception. So what's his issue? What, does he think people have a right to know how special effects happen? To make matters more confusing, he's also secretly a magician, but that's way later. In the beginning, these 4 people are selected to join an organization known as the Eye. Together they make a perfect team. J. Daniel Atlas does card stuff, and he's pretty sarcastic. Merritt McKinney can use the voice from Dune.
Soothing sound of the slots.
And he's pretty sarcastic. Henley Reeves wears gloves. And Jack Wilder can disappear, throw fireballs, perform hypnosis, and if you put your ear up to his, you'd hear the ocean. I love Jack the most. He says all kinds of things.
Nothing's ever locked.
That's not true.
It's gas.
That is true. Pursuing the Horsemen are Alma Dre and Dylan Rhodes. Like Thaddeus, Dylan hates magicians. And also like Thaddeus, he is one. Assisting the Horsemen is their benefactor, Arthur Tressler. You know, all the names in these movies have a kind of magical flavor to them. It's hard to quantify, but it's wonderful to taste. Anyway, the Horsemen's first show opens in Las Vegas, and, oh man, sorry, that logo. I know it's supposed to be like a 4 and an H, but like, it really doesn't look like it at all, does it? All right, look, if you want to do a 4 and an H design together, like these aren't perfect or anything, but you could do like 4H, or you could get like fancier and do like a that maneuver. Or you could simplify this more like geometric and okay, you understand what... Anyway, they do a magic Robin Hood routine. They steal from the rich and give to the people who can already afford to attend a live show in Las Vegas. This upsets the FBI, and they chase them to New Orleans, where a relatively polite Mardi Gras is happening. Then the Horsemen hack Arthur Tressler's bank account and give his money to the victims of Hurricane Katrina. They don't say Katrina, though. They say...
the hard times that hit one of America's most treasured cities.
Why don't they just say Katrina? Magicians are very mysterious. Dylan tries to stop them, but as we learned earlier in the film, Merritt holds dominion over the Cajun mind, and he summons his thralls to destroy the wicked lawman. Then Alma manages to corner Atlas, but she can't bring herself to take the shot. This is to make you think that she's maybe in on it, but she isn't.
What are you doing?
I mean, if it were me, I'd have a pretty hard time shooting David Blaine. I mean, I don't think I could bring myself to do it, but also, like, what if he catches the bullet in his teeth? Dylan pursues the Horsemen to New York with his friend, Johnny Vitti, from HBO Penguin Show. Then he gets into a magic fight with Jack Wilder, who hits Johnny with the old wet rag in mouth and soothing garbage disposal routine. And then he does a perfect impersonation of Dylan to his face.
What game you playing? What game you playing?
This is the only time he ever does that. But can you imagine the power of unleashing that on someone in the middle of an argument? I'm amazed he never busts that out during one of their many sessions of very dull banter. None of the quipping in these movies is particularly good. It's just a lot of people smugly going like... Anyway, Jack Wilder escapes in a car, and then he escapes into hell. The Horsemen are sad about it. You can tell he's sad.
Sorry.
Because he clears his throat mid-sentence. So then this perpetually angry man takes the case from Dylan and Johnny Vitti, even though Dylan cautions him that
these guys they're kind of tricky.
Which is a little bit of an understatement, given that one of them is a hypnotist who can melt your brain with his eyes, but anyway, he's not worried about it. He's just here to scream. But then the Horsemen steal an entire safe from a bank. They do this by putting a giant mirror in the vault so it looks like the safe disappeared, then waiting for the police to run up to it, but not too close, and then leave. Then Jack Wilder comes in and actually robs the vault, because he's alive. Because that wasn't him who blew up in the car, it was a corpse that he stole. Yep, this special guy used someone's son as a crash test dummy. Then the Horsemen gather a bunch of people at this abandoned warehouse and put on a big light show and launch thousands of fake dollars at everyone. Everyone's like, yes, this was so cool. Magic is so cool. I'm so glad I waited through a dense Manhattan crowd just for a 5-minute video and some patented Horseman fun bucks. Anyway, the real money busts out of Morgan Freeman's Range Rover just as the police arrive, creating an airtight case to lock him up. Obviously, he did that to himself. Obviously, he was like, I almost got away with it. I just forgot to buy a bigger car. Then Dylan reveals that he's the magician who was pulling the strings all along. He explains to Alma that he did all this stuff to avenge his dad, the great Lionel Shrike. You see, Thaddeus the magic hater hit Lionel with so many nuh-uhs that their feud escalated until Lionel was forced to lock himself in a safe at the bottom of a river. But the safe was made of low-quality materials from Tressler's company, and something went wrong and he drowned. So Dylan spent decades scheming to take revenge on those guys, and now he's fulfilled his lifelong goal of framing an innocent black man. And he says, now you might be wondering about all those times I got mad at the Horsemen when nobody was around to see me. Well, the greatest magicians can tricks even themselves. So Dylan Rhodes welcomes the Horseman to the Eye, even though, as we learn in the next movie, he knows and controls very little about what the Eye is or does. That Mark Ruffalo is the Illuminati's middle manager is just one of the many things we learn in Now You See Me 2. I don't want to say too much else about it because you and your friends should watch Now You See Me 2. It's got everything you need. Slam poetry hypnosis, pizza box hypnosis, a legit evil twin character, and Mark Ruffalo speaking Mandarin. It's like perfect party viewing, and I'm not going to see the third one. I was going to. But then they told me to don't. Actually, I did see it.
You've been tricked.
I saw it opening night.
It was amazing.
It's probably the best one. Listen, I'm using mentalism on you now. You're going to buy or rent Now You See Me, Now You Don't, so that they are compelled to make more of these. We have not yet found the limit for how stupid these movies can get, and I need to see that. I need to know what they would title a 6th Now You See Me movie. Maybe something like Now You See Me, Now You Don't, Part 3, Chapter 2, The Bone Temple.